Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of No and Gemini. This is Jesse.
And I'm Lavelle. And the first topic we're going to talk about today is something that we talked about in a previous episode. This one is about the Chicago City Council approving temporary housing for migrants that just came across the border. And some of the residents are upset because they're not helping the actual citizens in Chicago. They're helping the people that just got here. And let me play this video so we can get into it.
A divided city council has approved $51 million in migrant crisis funding, but it wasn't easy.
We respectfully ask that this chamber respects the order and decorum of this body of government.
Public comment became heated as residents and aldermen disagreed on how taxpayer dollars should be used.
Casey Cronus is live at City Hall for us first at 4. Casey.
Anthony and Natalie, the full council approved that budget amendment 34-13. The funding will go toward migrant housing and other resources for asylum seekers that have been bused to Chicago from the Texas border. But that decision did not come without contentious debate.
I have a diverse population, and I hear those same people, black, white, Latino, everybody different races, saying, what about us?
On housing and real estate. Vasquez also has proposal.
Residents and council members shared opinions which at times became heated over the decision to allot $51 million to migrants. Those against the funding are questioning how the city can suddenly come up with so much money for new visitors when local communities remain neglected and our own homeless population needs help. Since last August, more than 8,000 migrants have been dropped off in Chicago from the Texas border, with Mayor Johnson calling it a humanitarian crisis.
When we talk about asylum seekers and those families who have been here, how do we make sure that there's enough for everyone? Look, you know, we're moments away of digging in deeper with our budget and making sure that we pass a budget that speaks to the values of who we are as a city.
Now, this comes after Mayor Lightfoot declared a state of emergency because of the migrant crisis before she left office. This as shelters and respite sites for asylum seekers remain full. And right now, Mayor Brandon Johnson is speaking with members of the media. We'll have the latest from that briefing coming up at 5.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are the same that they were last time. There's a lot of homeless people in Chicago that are from Chicago and that are Americans. There's also a lot of Chicago residents that need other resources as well, food. The kids need rec centers. You know, the school is out now. These kids, instead of getting into gangs, instead of getting into trouble, being bored, summer's out, why not have rec centers? So although I understand there is a crisis here with the number of immigrants that are coming into the U.S., there's not enough space to house them. I get that. But I don't see anything wrong with them prioritizing where those funds are going. Take care of the people in Chicago first. Why weren't they trying to do this for all of the homeless people in Chicago? Why now all of a sudden they came up with an extra $51 million?
Not even an extra $51 million, just $51 million, period. Because they were begging to get some kind of money for the homeless crisis in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Like you said, kids don't have recreation centers. They don't have adequate funding for drug treatment programs. So that also brings about a lot of, violence and all kinds of crazy things that can happen in a neighborhood if people are just wandering around and nothing is being done about their situation. Mm-hmm. So I understand why they're pissed off that y'all can do all this for people that just got here a second ago, literally a second ago, but not the people that's been here for, multiple generations. You probably have third or fourth generation Chicagoans that haven't received this type of help.
Yep.
So I can see why they're pissed off.
I would
And
be
this is
too.
not just happening in Chicago; it's happening in New York. It's happening in what I think was it Detroit. I know they sent. I know the mayor
Florida.
of Sacramento got upset because they sent some people from Texas to Sacramento, and their reasoning behind it is that California is a sanctuary city, so they're not going to deport these people. So instead of keeping them here, they send them over there, and I really can't be upset with that. But this right here is a ridiculous way to just like crap on all of your citizens in that city. It doesn't make any sense for them to actually give that money out when people are not getting help, and apparently they don't care if they're reelected or not, because I would see that as a, as a black eye against me. Like I wouldn't be able to actually run for reelection by saying that, oh, I helped out
Our
migrants.
community. Yeah.
You know?
You can't be like anyone that's running in office. You can't say I'm for the people. I'm for the residents of Chicago, and then do something like this. So all the residents there in Chicago, they should be taking names, writing names down of all these people that voted to get this money for the immigrants that are coming to Chicago, as opposed to providing resources for the residents that are already living there, that are struggling, that need resources. And we're not just talking about the homeless people. We're also talking about the kids and the families that are struggling with their day-to-day bills and rent. There's no rent assistance anymore. There's still a lot of people that are struggling and living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
They have a lot of kids. School is out now. There's a lot of gang activity in Chicago. Why aren't they trying to provide money and resources on gang prevention? Trying to target the youth so that they don't have to go into gang and criminal activity. I just think that money could have been better used for the residents of Chicago and not the immigrants. Not to say that, you shouldn't help the immigrants coming here. I get they need a place to stay, but you know what? Why don't you put them in the shelters? And you know what? There's no room for them. Oh, well, they shouldn't have come here. You're coming here illegally.
And it's not even, like you said, it's not even regular immigrants, because if they went through the actual immigration process, there's no way they'll be thrown out onto the streets. It doesn't work like that. They want to make sure you're trying to work and do something with your life. You just don't come over here and sit around and not do anything. These people are seeking political asylum because of some shit that's going on in their country. And I don't know what politicians get out of shitting on people that vote for you every day, shitting on the people that supposedly the community that you represent. And you think these people are not going to remember what happened? And this is just insane that they're actually trying to bring in more people and disperse them throughout the entire United States. But
Why not send them back?
I don't.
Just send them back.
I don't know.
I mean, how hard is that? Y'all coming over here? We're providing buses. We taking your asses back.
Or planes.
Planes, buses, whatever.
Right.
Boats. Come on. Just send them back.
When these politicians are a joke, they're trying to appeal to. Okay, you got to understand the Latino demographic is rising in this country. I think it's outnumbered blacks already. So they're trying to appeal to their base. And like that one guy was saying, the one politician, he's saying he got people in his district that are black, white, Latino, Asian, and they're all against this.
Right.
So the Democrats, they don't want to lose that vote, that Latino vote. So they think this is the best way to go about keeping the vote, is to allow people to come in. But what they don't understand is that a lot of people don't like that.
Even the Latinos are against it. I'm pretty sure if you take a poll, a lot of Latinos are against it too, because a lot of Latinos that are there need resources.
But they don't understand that Latinos are different. You got Mexicans, you got Puerto Ricans, you got Dominicans, you got El Salvadorians. They're not all the same. They're not a monolith. But they know that a lot of the Latinos are going toward the Republican Party. So now they're pissed off, and the Democrats are trying to get them back into their fold. So they're actually allowing something that they think that they want, but they really don't want. They just look at the optics and go, oh, they look like the rest of the Latinos. They all have similar last names. We're just going to go ahead and do something for these people.
You know what I say to that? Here's an idea. How about you actually talk to them? How about you actually ask them what they want? You want their vote? Ask them what they want. What's important to them?
Right.
Instead of just assuming.
That's how politicians operate.
Well,
This is a classic version of identity politics. They're just going to put out there. They're not really doing anything for the people in the community, but they're saying, look, these people look like you, and we're fighting for you. That's all it is.
Don't fight for me. If you want to fight for me, provide resources that I can use, that my family can use. You know, don't be just, no, that's some bullshit. I hate politicians. I really do.
Fight for Americans first. You know, there's nothing wrong with putting your country first. We've said it over and over again. And I don't think this is going to go over well. And we'll see what happens to these people that voted in favor of this $51 million to allocate toward the assistance of these migrants. And you got to remember, there was a school out there that they're converting into a center for them, so they can have, you know, the sleeping quarters and also food, and they're going to provide clothing and God knows what else. And it's just a slap in the face to the people that are actually in the city of Chicago, and it makes no damn sense. But, you know, since whenever a politician does something that makes sense?
Never.
So,
Never.
all right, let's move on to our next story. This one is about this crazy-ass lady that left her kids in a car and while she went to go shop.
There was a car, I don't know, somehow is on fire outside in the parking lot at Dillard's, and there was two kids and a mom.
We now have the 911 calls from this car fire at the Oviedo Mall. A mother is accused of leaving her two young children inside while she was shoplifting. And on top of that, police say that car was stolen.
Yeah, you can see the video behind us. The fire starts inside the car, of course, and that inferno grows fast. It actually blows the windows out. And Fox 35's Connor Hansen joins us live from the mall today. So, Connor, you've been listening to all these 911 calls. What have you heard so far?
Well, John, all of those callers obviously very alarmed to see such a huge fire that close to the Dillards behind me. Luckily, somebody was able to get to those two kids before things got much worse. And now it's those children's mother who was inside the store at the time who's facing an arson charge. Now, the camera on a nearby car in this parking lot caught a close-up view of that sedan going up in flames. Police say a 2- and 4-year-old were left in the car for up to an hour while their mother went inside, allegedly to shoplift. We're told one of the children was able to open one of the car doors, and that's when a good Samaritan saw them and got them out. The kids were okay but had minor burns. When the mother, Alicia Moore, went to the hospital with the two kids, police realized she had warrants for other crimes. Now she's also being charged with child neglect and arson.
She's being charged with the arson because she did leave the kids alone in the car with some sort of lighter matches. I don't know what it was that set the car on fire, but the children are her responsibilities.
Now the state fire marshal is still working to find out exactly what started that fire. Reporting live in Oviedo, Connor Hansen, Fox 35 News.
Oh, God. You go ahead.
That's just heartbreaking, man. Like, how are people still doing that, leaving their kids in freaking cars?
No, but
for a long period of time. And then the car is stolen that she's leaving them in. So she doesn't know the cops could be looking for this car. They could have taken the kids. You know what I mean? And God forbid now. And then matches were left in there, so it was the kids that started the fire.
Apparently, but they don't know. They're gonna wait and see exactly what started the fire. But
there's just so much wrong with this story.
Well, she's a piece of shit, first of all, for stealing the car and having your kids in the stolen car, going into a store to steal more shit. And then you come out and the fucking car is on fire and you got strangers helping your kids out of the car. And this lady must have like a mental health issue.
She must, and she also had warrants.
Yeah, she probably for stealing.
Oh my God.
She's in a stolen car, in the store stealing, and the warrants that they were after her for were probably because she was stealing. But she's a candidate for Mother of the Year.
Yeah, that's just so fucked up. And man, I hope they don't give those kids back to her. And uh, but something like this had to happen because obviously she wasn't making good choices. And thank God that the kids are okay. You know,
Yeah.
they only had minor burns. It could have been a lot worse. And I hope she takes this as a lesson learned. And, while she's in jail, she changes her ways.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she's probably has been a shitty mother for a long time. It finally caught up with her, and hopefully they give these kids to some relatives that can take care of them, because you don't want to put kids in the foster system. But she is just, I've never heard of nothing like that before. I've never heard of somebody stealing a car, going into a store, stealing shit, and leaving the kids in the car and saying, like, fuck it, I'm just going to see what happens. And they said it was matches left in the car. How do kids know how to strike matches?
And 2 and a 4-year-old at that.
I
Well,
don't-
no, I'm pretty sure because the kids learn behavior. So I'm pretty sure if she smokes cigarettes and she's lighting her cigarettes with matches, the kids would see that. So they'll light shit with matches.
Probably something
You know,
crazy like
It
that.
must have been something like that. But nonetheless, I mean, you leaving a 2 and a 4-year-old, like so many other bad shit could have happened. This could have been way worse. Not to say that this story isn't bad, but it could have ended a lot worse than it did.
Yeah.
At least now, she did get arrested. Hopefully, she'll change her ways and she'll learn from this. And thank God the kids are okay. So maybe, they can be with people that make better decisions and can raise them right.
Yeah. That's just a fucked up story, man.
It is. It's a really sad, fucked up story. And she gets fucking worst mother of the decade for that shit.
Yeah, but everything happens for a reason, and thank God the kids wasn't hurt, and I think they'll be fine. And I don't know how much time she's gonna receive,
Well,
you
she's
can only
got
keep
a lot of charges, so
Yeah, but a lot of times they run them concurrently if she's convicted on everything. So she'll probably get like 3 to 4 years in prison. Maybe not even that, depending on what she was charged for.
Yeah, it depends on what the charges are and whether or not she takes a plea. But nonetheless, she's going to do some kind of jail time because the
Rightfully
stolen
so.
car, you're shoplifting inside the store while your kids are being neglected and left in a car unattended. And then they said they were charging her with arson even though she didn't start the fire, but because she's responsible for the kids and she left that in the vehicle, they're charging her with arson. So she's going to do jail time. How much, we don't know. But nonetheless, whatever she gets, she deserves. And I do pray and hope that she takes this as a lesson learned and that she makes better choices going forward.
Yeah, she just, probably fucked up.
Because we don't know, obviously what she was thinking. We don't know what her situation is. But
I wonder what she was thinking about when she came out of that store and saw that, because somebody had to have said something in the store like, hey, there's a car on fire.
Yeah.
Did she actually like panic? I mean, we can't really know her emotions because nobody really describe her
She
as like
probably
being
did.
frantic and going crazy and
True.
trying to like say, oh shit, what did I do?
That's true, but she did also. They arrested her at the hospital, so she did go to the hospital with the kids.
That's
while
the
they got
least
checked
you
out
can
and
do,
stuff.
to go
Of
check on your burnt
course,
up kids.
Of course,
that you
but
left
what I'm
in the
saying
car.
is, I couldn't imagine any mother not panicking, especially you left the kids in the car and someone is saying there's a car outside on fire. You're gonna run outside and be like, oh my God, I hope it's not my car.
I don't think she did that. Some people are just not equipped to be parents.
Yeah.
They never were. They end up getting in a relationship that they shouldn't have probably been in. They produce a couple of children, and they don't give a fuck about them. And she seems like that type of parent. Just to even leave your kid in a car, like
2 kids,
never.
and 2 and 4.
I wouldn't even care if it's 60 degrees outside with no sun, or it doesn't matter. It don't matter if it was 50 degrees. You just don't leave 2 kids in a car, especially that old or that young.
That young, and
Because
then to go shoplift, really, of all things.
Because back in the day, parents, it was a thing in the 90s, '80s, where people would leave their kids in the car. They were like, I'm gonna go in the grocery store. Y'all stay in this car and don't do nothing, and I'll be right back. That was a normal.
I don't know. I can't
No,
say that. I've never been left in a car while my family shopped. You know what I mean?
No, that used to be a thing. Because
Really?
if you're running in there to get something, you just tell them, stay right here. I'm gonna go in there, get a couple of things. I'll be right back. Yeah, it wasn't considered, but back in the day, kids were smarter. They had enough sense to get the fuck out of the car when it was too hot.
And I don't know. It's just fucked up, man. But they
but
did
these kids
get out the car. I mean, with the fire, they got out the car.
These kids are too young. I just feel my heart breaks for those kids, and hopefully she never gets them again, and she can rot in jail. I don't give a shit. I don't care about her at all. I care about the kids.
Yeah, but we do still have to pray that she make better decisions, because if not, she can come out, have more kids, and then
This is where they should have. Sounds fucked up, but some people should be mandated to tie their tubes or get a vasectomy. It's just some people shouldn't be allowed to have any more kids. You can't keep fucking up the world population with your fucked up kids. Because if you're fucked up and you have a situation where you leave them in that they end up being, depressed to the point where they start committing crime and they feel neglected and they start feeling unwanted and they start doing other things in society against innocent people that never did anything to them. But they feel like if the world doesn't care about me, I'm not going to care about the world. And hurt people tend to hurt other people for no reason. So, I'm not for, I guess I am for selective sterilization. Some of these people should not have, I am. Some of these people should not have kids. Vasectomies, tying your tubes, or what do they say, burn them. So when you burn them, they can't.
No, it's cut, tie, and burn.
All three.
All three.
They should just do 3 procedures on her ass, torture her a little bit. I mean, no, everybody shouldn't have a gun license. Everyone shouldn't have a driver's license. Everyone shouldn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Just I'm against everybody having everything just because you have a right to do it. Doesn't mean you necessarily should.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. All right, let's move on to our next story. This is a sports-related topic. Skip and Shannon. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless from Undisputed
that's a real popular show.
Are splitting up because Shannon can't take being around Skip Bayless anymore. He even decided to get a buyout of his contract, meaning he got less money, and he was able to take his popular podcast from Fox Sports, Club Shay Shay, and after the NBA Finals concludes, he's gonna leave Fox.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, I'm not surprised, because over the past several months there has been like tension there, and there have been a few on-air kind of arguments, even though they do dispute on the show. The show is called Undisputed.
Yeah, but what happened was they got into like a heated argument about Brady, Tom Brady. And they talk about Tom Brady like every day. They talk about the Lakers every day. Talk about LeBron
Cowboys
every day. So it just came to a head when Shannon said something about Tom Brady. Said a fact that Brady wasn't playing well because he hasn't been playing well. He wasn't playing up to his standards. He's 45 years old. He's not gonna keep getting away from 20-year-old linebackers trying to chase him down. So Skip was trying to defend Tom Brady's play in the 2022 season, and Shannon rebutted it and said he's playing like garbage basically. And Skip got mad and said out of anger, he's like, he's better than you ever were. And then Shannon got mad, pulled down his glasses, and Skip told him, put your glasses back on. And Shannon, like a little bitch, put his glasses back on, which I would have never done. I would have taken my glasses off, kept them off, and maybe went over there and choked the shit out of Skip Bayless. So that happened, and then when the thing happened to the Buffalo Bills player, Damar Hamlin, when he had a heart attack on the field and almost died, Skip had tweeted something about, I don't know how they're going to make up this game because this game has playoff implications to it. And
that was an insensitive tweet.
And Shannon took that to dig at Skip again, because Skip has said worse things, and I don't think Shannon should have necessarily not shown up to work because of that. and it was they just got. I think it was over the moment that he said Brady was better than him, and diminished something that Shannon Sharp accomplished in his life. Shannon Sharp is in the NFL Hall of Fame. Shannon Sharp didn't come from a middle class family like Tom Brady. He grew up in the backwoods of Georgia. Didn't even have a toilet. He said he never had a toilet inside of his house until he was like 20 years old.
No
They used
way.
outhouses. So he come from a real struggle, and to go from that and to make it into the NFL Hall of Fame, which is the hardest
easy.
sports Hall of Fame to get into out of all the 4 major sports, and to go from that to being a multi-millionaire, being a millionaire actually most of his life, and now he's on a #1 rated show and making even more millions of dollars and doing a successful podcast and just really, elevating his life. And for Skip to like shit on everything this man did, and Shannon was like, "You gonna defend this guy over me?"
And they're supposed to be friends. Like, yeah, they have the show together, and the show is popular. I mean, it's a highly rated show. It's on every day, Monday through Friday. And they do debate on the show, but at the end of the day, they kind of are like friends. So that's why like Shannon was so upset, because he's like, "Oh, he's like, you're gonna say that that he's better over me?" Like, he was really, really hurt by that,
And he was trying to insinuate. I don't even think he was insinuating it. I think he actually said it, that he told Shannon to his face that he was jealous of Tom Brady. Jealous of Tom Brady.
And why would Shannon be jealous of Tom Brady?
No.
They don't even play the same position.
He was just saying like, "Oh, Shannon, you had to retire at 34. Brady's 45, and he's still going. So you're upset about that." And that's not what Shannon was
I don't
complaining
think
about.
so, yeah.
He was just being factual about Brady not having a good season. And God forbid if you say something bad about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And Skip got pissed off by that.
But yeah, with this, like I said, I'm not surprised. Shannon's going to do well, because
Yeah, of course.
his podcast, in the short period of time that he has it, it's doing great. It's surpassed Skip's podcast, which I didn't even know that Skip had one. That goes to show you how popular it is, that he doesn't have a lot of viewers, and a lot of people didn't even know he had a podcast. But Shannon obviously is doing better than Skip. Skip is already old. He should just retire. I think that with Shannon leaving the show, I don't know who's going to replace him, but regardless of who replaces him, I don't think it's going to be as good as it is with Shannon.
No,
because Skip is like, he's old, he's boring.
Shannon is irreplaceable. I don't care. They talked about bringing LaShawn McCoy,
Which I don't think that would be a good fit either.
which he's already on the show called Speak. And there's another guy, Nick Wright, who's on the show called First Thing First, that's also on FS1. And Joy Taylor, who's also on the show Speak. But you can't replace Shannon. That's going to be a big loss. I'll watch it the first couple of episodes to see how it's going to go, but it's not going to replace what Shannon and Skip had. They had that chemistry that's hard to capture. And once people don't realize that, once you capture that chemistry, no one else can take the place of that person. It's like Stephen A. on First Take. Stephen A. and Skip had a great chemistry, but Skip found it again in Shannon. Just Stephen A. never got it with Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
Now he rotates guests, and still it's not exciting like it was when Skip was over there. So I hope Skip don't think like, "Oh, let me go get another person." And I think they're going to pick a black person, because that's the way it works. You got a black guy, a white guy arguing about sports. Blacks feel represented, obviously, from their point of view. Skip, white people feel represented by Skip Bayless. And because we do come from two different cultures, so we might have a different perspective on something like a Ja Morant or somebody else that did something in sports that we might disagree with. Like, here's the black perspective of it.
Yeah.
So I think by Shannon leaving, you're going to miss that element. And Shannon talks like a regular guy. He doesn't talk like, a professional.
And he's just so personable and
he's
so
funny.
funny.
He's funny. He's hilarious.
He's entertaining. And,
Right.
to be honest, I mean, he kind of makes the show. I'm pretty sure a lot of people tune in because of Shannon and what he's gonna say. Not so much as Skip, because and so regardless of whoever they get, I still don't think it's gonna be good, and I think the numbers are gonna go down, and I think eventually that show's it's not gonna be on air for a long time.
I don't think so either. And if you go on YouTube, there's an actual Fox put together a collage of Shannon Sharp's best moments, and it's like 45 minutes long of him doing crazy antics on the show or saying some things that are just like completely funny.
Yeah.
And you can't put together a montage of Skip like that because Skip is just an asshole sometimes, and nobody wants to hear from Skip Bayless.
Skip is just like a cranky old man who likes to watch sports. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He takes it too serious.
Yeah, he's just like a cranky old man, but he does know sports. So that's why, like, when he's on the show, he's giving all the stats and facts and, and stuff like that. But where Shannon is just overall well-rounded, where he knows sports. He played the sport. And he's personable. He's funny. He jokes around. I don't know. I mean, I would watch wherever Shannon's gonna go. I would watch that show. I wouldn't watch Undisputed anymore once he leaves the show.
No, like I said, I'll check out the first couple of episodes, and after that, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it, but we'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see who they're gonna pick to replace Shannon.
Yeah.
Or if they're just gonna go a totally different direction. Maybe they'll just switch it up a little bit. Maybe they'll have like a female on there. Maybe it'll
Skip seems like the old type of guy that don't take any shit from a woman. Like a woman couldn't question him.
What about Jen? Like, Jen's already on there, so what if they just go with the new angle, would just have Jen and then Skip, and then have the way that Stephen A has, where they'll have guest co-hosts. They may do that for a little bit.
It's a rotating guest host. Yeah, I don't know. They could, but it's just Shannon is going to leave a void that can't be filled, and you're going to have just low ratings. Nobody. I mean, the first few episodes after Shannon is going to be highly rated.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be curious to see who's going to be on the show. But yeah.
Well, good luck to Shannon Sharp.
He's funny, and his podcast, he has great guests on the podcast as well. It's not just people, athletes that go on his show. He's interviewed entertainers, singers, past and former and current athletes as well. So yeah, his podcast is pretty entertaining. I like it.
Yeah, good luck to Shannon. Fuck Skip Bayless.
That's kind of harsh.
You don't like Skip either.
I think he's just a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
I think he should just retire, just
and
live your life. You live in California. You already have a lot of money. Just come on, enjoy your golden years.
And speaking of grumpy old man, there's a bunch of them right now because we had a guy that used to be president that keeps getting charges put against him. This motherfucker got more charges against him than rappers. He's outdoing rappers right now. That's why he's so popular with the hip hop community. Even though they don't want to admit it, but they like Donald Trump because he goes to jail like they go to jail. He get indicted on a state level and a federal level.
Yeah, I
and
know.
this right here is ridiculous. Let's play this real quick. If you didn't know, Donald Trump was indicted in New York because of campaign finance violations for a payout to Stormy Daniels.
Who he had an affair with,
Right.
and then he had his attorney pay her off, give her hush money for her not to talk about it because he was running for president, and
Right.
he knows had that affair gotten out, he wouldn't have gotten elected,
And that shows you he don't really know his base, because his base wouldn't have given
They
him
wouldn't have
shit.
cared.
They would have actually continued to vote for him. I mean, whatever, right? So now he gets indicted on the federal indictment, which ended up being 37 count indictment because he had some classified documents. He had some classified documents in a bathroom, just sitting there in a fucking bathroom. And then they said, hey, we need those back. And he was like, fuck off. So they send the FBI to his house at 6 o'clock in the morning, raided his shit, took everything that he had, and now he's going to really, like, spit in their face by running for president. And they got pissed off and said, okay, this guy's playing with us. Now the deep state got his ass.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the thing. Of all these counts, they gonna get him on something.
yep. Let's play this real quick.
Former President Donald Trump making his first public appearance since that historic 37-count federal indictment against him was unsealed. No former president has ever been charged with felony crimes. Today, a defiant Trump lashing out at the Biden administration, accusing them of weaponizing the Department of Justice, calling his indictment a travesty of justice during a campaign stump in Columbus, Georgia. The 49-page indictment accusing the former president of putting the nation's security at risk, leaving highly classified documents in unsecured areas of his Mar-a-Lago estate. The indictment includes images of boxes allegedly stored in a ballroom, a bathroom, and a shower. And tonight, what we're learning about the former president's mood and how his GOP presidential rivals are reacting. We have team coverage, and ABC's senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky leads us off in Miami.
Tonight, President Trump defiant, campaigning for the first time since the unsealing of the historic federal indictment accusing him of mishandling some of the nation's closely guarded defense secrets.
We did absolutely nothing wrong. Take a look at the Presidential Records Act. We did it by the book.
Perfect.
Until now,
really?
no.
He said we did it by the book. Perfect. We done absolutely nothing wrong.
He always says that though. He's always so full of shit.
It was beautiful the way we stole those documents. It was beautiful. Everything was beautiful about it. It was the greatest stealing of documents ever. It was great. Beautiful.
No former president had ever been charged with committing felonies. Trump has been indicted twice in the last 2 months. The 49-page indictment from special counsel Jack Smith portrays a reckless former president who knew the law, knew he was breaking it, and tried to cover it up by refusing to return classified documents that contained sensitive information about the nuclear weaponry of the United States and the potential vulnerabilities of the country and its allies to military attack.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical for the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
Stacks of boxes allegedly filled with sensitive documents that the indictment says Trump was not authorized to possess were found in a Mar-a-Lago ballroom, a bedroom, even a bathroom and shower. The contents of one carton, including what prosecutors say is a document marked secret, spilled onto the floor. Trump is accused of showing some of these documents to unauthorized people at least twice. Once, in July 2021, Trump allegedly showed a writer a plan of attack drawn up by the Pentagon.
This ain't show and tell, motherfucker. This ain't kindergarten. He's going around showing these classified documents to people as if the government is not going to be pissed off with this. Wow. And somebody leaked it. I think it was somebody in his own camp.
I think it might have been Mike Pence.
No,
Mike Pence is also now running for president.
I mean, I don't know if it was him, but I think it was somebody in his inner circle that did it because they felt uneasy about that.
Like,
yeah, they got tipped off.
Doing this shit, you know.
As president, I could have declassified it, Trump is quoted saying. Now I can't. A month or two later, Trump allegedly showed someone affiliated with his political action committee a map related to a military operation.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
That was Trump in 2016, and he's quoted throughout the indictment. Trump allegedly directing his valet, who's also charged in this case, to move classified documents. I don't want anybody looking, one of his attorneys quoted Trump as saying, I don't want anybody looking through my boxes. When lawyers told him he had to comply with a subpoena seeking a return of classified material, Trump is quoted in the indictment saying, wouldn't it be better if we just told them we don't have anything here? A lawyer also quoted Trump saying, what happens if we just don't respond at all? Trump is due here on Tuesday.
Like he's a fucking magician or something.
And all those boxes, really? There's nothing here. What are you talking about? I don't have anything.
Oh, my God. Hold on.
Stay at Miami federal court to answer the charges. Security preparations are well underway. But Trump tonight says even if he's convicted in this case, he's not dropping out of the race for the White House. Whit?
Aaron Katursky in Miami. Thanks so
Of course
much.
not. That's such a Donald Trump thing to say.
Right. This
gosh.
guy is entertaining and dangerous at the
He's
same time.
entertaining, but yeah, I wouldn't vote for him to be president. He's fucking crazy. But then again, Joe Biden is also.
They're both fucked up.
And
America's fucked up for having these two idiots to choose from. One can't stop falling. The other one can't stop getting indicted. And God knows what else he might do. Trump, he got indicted in New York.
Yeah.
He got indicted on the state level there. He got indicted federally with these charges. And there's a pending indictment in Georgia because he tried to interfere into the presidential election and asked people on a did he not know he was being recorded?
He doesn't care. That man is crazy.
He said, what did he say? Yeah, if you can just find me 12,000 votes. He actually said this is on recording. Like he got recorded saying this crap. And they're going to indict him for interfering into an election, which he accused other people of doing.
But you know why he's doing that, right? I think he took all of that for him to try to get dirt and blackmail people. You know what I mean? I really do think that for him, he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he has a reason for that. Like he wanted to use that stuff to try to blackmail people. And I will also go on to say this too. What he did was wrong, but they all do it.
Yeah.
They all do it. Hillary Clinton with the emails.
Yeah, they all do it.
Biden's son, Hunter, with the laptop.
But I
mean, it wasn't boxes and boxes of classified information, but nonetheless, they all do it.
But see, nobody, Biden, Hillary Clinton, and others, they were not considered to be a loose cannon.
True.
And they're still pissed at him over that January 6th bullshit that they pulled. They're not letting that go. It made them look weak. Yeah. It made them look vulnerable.
It exposed them.
It exposed the United States government and lawmakers to not be as powerful as they said they were. They're hiding under their desk because some citizens with a Viking hat broke into the Capitol and threatened to beat their ass. And they try to hang the vice president of the United States.
And then he like ordered, well, not in so many words, order them, but he kind of suggested taking Pence out, who was the vice president, you know? Like, he's like, fuck it, get Mike Pence too.
Oh my God,
you know?
Trump is hilarious. I mean, the fact that they told him, bring that shit back and we'll let it go. They'll leave you alone. They don't want to indict you. You're part of the elite. The elite don't like going after other elites. Please give us back our shit and we'll let you go. And he's probably told them, I'm Donald Trump. Shut the fuck up. We did it beautifully. It was perfect the way we stole these documents, and I'm going to keep them in my perfect house. And they told him no and came and got him. He won't stop doing this.
He wanted them to say, no, tell them they're not here. What happens if you just say we don't have them?
Can you imagine when they came in there, he just told one of his dumbass kids to throw a sheet or a blanket over it? It was probably one of his kids that turned him in.
Probably.
They probably got tired. They're like, look, Dad, we need you to take these back. This is illegal. We understand the law. And he said no. And he wouldn't listen. I bet you one of those kids, Ivanka, or what's the other one, Eric or Don Jr.
Or even Ivanka's husband.
Oh, Jared Kushner.
Jared? It could have been anyone.
Somebody did.
Somebody in his inner circle.
I would have, because I'm not going to jail for something that you did. They do not play about having classified documents exposed. And he was, like I said, he thought it was kindergarten, like he was doing show and tell. Just showing people classified information that they shouldn't be looking at it. And maybe he showed it to somebody that got nervous.
He showed it to a reporter. They said he showed it to a reporter.
Crazy, man. He's out of his damn mind.
But that's just one person they're saying he showed it to. So I'm pretty sure he showed it to a lot of people.
Oh, no, he did.
You know, he probably showed it to everyone. And
he did. Even Fox News can defend this shit. That's how you know he was in trouble. They couldn't even defend it, you know. But they did have I like the fact that Fox did mention that other people have done this as well, and it's not just Trump. But when you're flaunting it in front of them, they'll give you a mulligan. They'll say, "Okay, look, you messed up. We're gonna help you out here. Give us back our documents, sir, and we're fine."
Yeah.
And he had shit in the bathroom, a ballroom,
A shower. Inside the shower, he had boxes stacked up. They had photos of it. Well, you guys seen the photos.
Oh
But
my
he's
God.
crazy. He you know what it is?
And he's old.
He's reckless and he just doesn't care.
He's like a petulant 5-year-old brat that if he doesn't get his way, he's going to continue to do dumb things. And but you got to compare him to a man that can't walk and stop falling over himself, right? And he forgets that he actually, this came out I think a day ago. His son Bo Biden served in Iraq. He died of brain cancer. But Joe Biden keeps telling people that his son died in Iraq.
No.
He keeps saying that this man died in Iraq, but he actually died of brain cancer, and Joe Biden knows that because he was there. So somebody needs to remind this old ass man that your son did not die in Iraq, and he mentioned it multiple times.
This is also the same man that half the time he doesn't know where he's at.
Exactly.
And he's got a nickname, Sleepy Joe. I mean, you don't get a
Trump
nickname,
gave him,
Sleepy
well,
Joe.
Trump gave him that.
But yeah, other people have mentioned that as well.
Well, because Trump started it.
That was kind of funny. But it's just, he's just too old. And I think that's another thing. There should be an age limit.
Yeah.
You should not be past 60
Yeah,
and vote.
yeah.
And not vote, I'm sorry, and run for president.
Yeah.
You should not. There should be an age limit.
Yeah, we talked about some of this on other podcasts that I do, Hard Art Comedy. Check that one out too, because we talked about something similar to that it should be an age limit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you got a minimum. The minimum is 35.
Yeah.
65 might be the cutoff.
I even go as far as saying 60.
Maybe 55. Because if you do 2 terms, if you start your campaign, they usually start a year before the election or maybe 2 years before. So if you're 55, then you get 8 years in the White House, you'll be at 63 years old. That's fine with me. Enough with these damn octogenarians. How old is Joe Biden?
Isn't he like 79?
No, I thought he was in his 80s.
I'm not sure.
Look at that real quick. Let's see what he got. Joe Biden. He has to be like 80-something years old, and this guy just don't give a damn about how he looks or how the country looks, because he shouldn't even ran for president, but they thought he's the only one that could beat.
He's 80.
He's 80. Okay, so he's 80 years old, and he has announced that he's running
again.
Oh, God help us. And so he's going to be 81 this year because his birthday is November 20th. Oh, God. Oh, no, America, we got to do better. This is embarrassing. But I'm here for it, though. It's good content to see our country go down in flames. Who doesn't want to see their country go down in flames?
Oh, God. I don't want to see my country go down in flames.
You have no choice.
This is a shit show.
Yeah. You got a guy that's crazy, and you got a guy that doesn't know where the fuck he's at, and you got Mike Pence running against Trump.
And he's just so boring. I can't even. Mike Pence probably may have good ideas and
No, he doesn't.
he may have good plans. I don't know. I can't listen to him. I'm sorry, but he just bores me.
Yeah, Mike Pence is full of shit.
I can't.
But let's move on to our last story. This is kind of, well, it is sad.
It is a sad story.
DC Youngfly's wife, or his spouse, his long-term spouse, and the mother of his 3 children, who gave birth recently, she died on an operating table. She was going to get some plastic surgery done and what do they call it, a mommy makeover?
She was getting a mommy makeover, yeah.
And there was some other things involved with that, and she had some complications, and she passed away, unfortunately, and I forgot how old she was. I think she was like 32 or something like that.
Yeah, she was really young. She passed on the 31st of May. And it's really sad.
You're a female, so what do you think about women going to get these surgeries? Like Kanye West's mom had a procedure like that, and she died.
So many women are getting these procedures, and it's more common than not nowadays. A lot of people are getting these surgeries done, and they're getting the tummy tucks and the Brazilian butt lifts and the boob jobs and the lipo 360s and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of people are doing it. Oh yeah, she was only 32. She was really young.
Right.
Which you wouldn't expect someone to be 32 and to die on the operating table.
Well,
you know, or having complications after having a surgery, with a surgery that's so common. But my personal opinion on it is like, to each his own. I wouldn't do it because any kind of surgery, there's a risk involved. And if you look at her photos from when she had her baby, she didn't need any of that work done. I just think that society is just putting so much pressure on these young females that they feel like they have to look like the Kardashians and they have to keep up with the Joneses. And just be happy with yourself. And if you're not happy with an area of your body, or you feel like, okay, I'm big, or I need to lose my gut, or whatever, what's wrong with exercising? It takes longer. You're not going to get the instant result, but
Right.
damn, if anything, it'll be more rewarding because it's like, damn, I worked my ass off. I worked out, I ate right, and I lost the weight. That's what people used to do back in the days. But now, because we're in a society where everyone wants these instant results, and they're just going through all these drastic changes of just getting on an operating table, as if they were just going to fast food restaurant, and getting takeout. It's sad. It's unfortunate. And I feel so bad for the kids because her kids are young. And they're not even gonna know their mom, and everyone that spoke out that knows her and knows DC Young Fly, they all said she was a really sweet woman and she was a great mom, and it's just unfortunate, and just I don't know. I mean, to eat, like I said, to each his own. You want to have it done. You have the money to get it done. Go for it. But do your research. Find out who this doctor is. Make sure they are a licensed real doctor. Don't just go, because somebody else went there to that doctor, or because they're cheap, or because you just found them on Google. Like, do your research. This is serious. Surgery is something that's serious. It should be taken seriously. Any kind of surgery, big or small, there's a risk involved and it's dangerous, So if you do want to do it, go for it. But just please do your research, It's so sad. Like I said, I feel sorry for her kids,
Right. And I think it's more of like a social media acceptance because she clearly is a beautiful girl. She didn't need the surgery, but it's this social media image. It's no longer good enough to do the filters. You know how people get catfished all the time. They don't look like they look in their Instagram post or any social media post that they put out.
Right.
And people have this desire to keep up that image because there's no way in the world that a 32-year-old mother of 3 who's going to have some, your body's going to look different. You had three kids. Your body's going to change. But there's nothing that a personal trainer couldn't do. But we live in a generation where it's like instant gratification, instant results. If it's not that, then it's not going to work.
Yep.
It's no longer, hey, let me put in the grind and the work. And it's hard working out. It's hard getting up and being consistent, and especially you have 3 children. But her husband made enough money where she can get a personal trainer. She can get a nanny to watch those kids while she goes off and work on her body and get toned and fit. But it's a Hollywood thing where people want the cheap route. And most women don't get that. Most women can't afford these surgeries. There was a story about a lady, I believe it was last year, she went to the Dominican Republic, 49 years old, already had her children. Children moved out. It's just her and her husband. She goes there and she gets a surgery. And this doctor was questionable, and she ended up dying on the operating table. And that's just unfortunate. This elective surgery.
Yeah.
It's not like you need it. A mommy makeover. I never even heard of this shit.
And also,
I don't even know what that consists of.
Well, I think it's like a tummy tuck, and your boobs get lifted. You know, they lift your boobs and stuff and do the whole lipo and stuff. But my thing also is, you know, if you're running around and taking care of 3 kids, you're gonna lose weight.
Right.
You're gonna be doing exercise and
Mhm.
physical activity if you're a hands-on parent with 3 small kids.
And ladies,
so you
like,
don't even need to do that. You know?
And there's nothing wrong with having saggy titties. There's nothing wrong with saggy tits, man. We gotta advocate that. We call them SATs, saggy ass titties. There's nothing wrong with it. We just expect it was just accepted back in the day.
Yeah.
They wore a push-up bra. That's to get the man in the door. And then once you go behind closed door, you pull it down and it hits your navel. And then you're like, oh, okay, she got saggy ass titties. But fuck it, I'm still gonna do it. And it wasn't a thing. Now, like, all the tits have to be perky. No, it's okay to have stretch marks or a little weight on you. It's okay. Most guys like that. Nobody likes this made up Hollywood image, this Kardashian image of what a woman should be. That sounds like bullshit. Nobody is realistically, you working a 9-to-5 job, when you come home, your wife is not going to look like one of these made up Hollywood stars. You know, just accept who you are. You know, and now you have men doing this shit, getting tummy tucks and
Didn't
getting
Kanye admit to getting like liposuction as well? When
yeah,
he was
getting
married to Kim Kardashian?
and they have the money to have these personal trainers to actually work. Yeah, Kanye, man, he did the surgery and had some. Fortunately for him, he didn't have any complications, or unfortunately, because he pissed off everybody last year.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know, man. Just be happy with who you are, man. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy who you are. Enjoy being the person that person loves. If that person don't love you for who you are. Now, granted, you shouldn't be overweight. Go exercise, lose weight, and don't just tell somebody, oh, I love you, so I accept you for being overweight. You tell them, I love you. I want you to be around longer, so I need you to lose a few pounds. You're kind of overboard here.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say too. Like, in this day and age where we have, you know, the Lizzos and you know, a lot of people with self-love, it's great. Love yourself no matter what size you are. However, you know, if you are on the unhealthy side, you know, and you want to be around for your family and your friends, exercise. You know, don't just go the quick route and, okay, I'm gonna just go and have surgery, because like I said, it's a risk, and it's not for everyone. You know, there's a lot of females that have these surgeries and are still not happy. You know,
Right.
and they continuously having different surgeries because now this is wrong with them, now that's wrong with them. And just, you know, just love yourself and do what you can to make yourself better, but don't think that a quick fix is gonna be the best option, because there's risks with everything.
Right. And
you know,
guys, like I said, compliment your woman and tell them they're okay. But even that might not work if, oh, let me get on Instagram. Let me get on any social media platform, Facebook or Twitter, and I see this picture, the quote unquote picture perfect body in life. And people are just gravitating towards something that isn't real. It's not real to be to have a perfect body your entire life, especially after having multiple children. Not gonna happen.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, our generation has to do better with long-term acceptance, or like waiting to get your results later on and doing the grind. Like, we're starting this podcast, we want to get more numbers, but it's a grind. It's a process. And when you lose that focus in life, where you just think everything's supposed to be instantaneously, it's going to lead to bad things happening. You got people, they'll do anything or say anything on a podcast or any platform. They'll do anything just to get their numbers up instantly, but they don't want to build it up, because that's not sustainable. It's going to come crashing down. Usually if you build up something so quick, it comes down even faster, you know. And whatever. Not whatever to her, but whatever to people thinking that you have to have this perfect image, and that it's not true.
Yeah.
So, you know, support people that are actually doing it the right way, going to a gym. And, you know, I'm not even against you taking a couple of diet pills, you know. I don't really like that either, but that's still better than going under a knife and having an artificial body.
Yeah, I agree. But
All
yeah,
right.
just prayers to to
For
her
DC Young Fly and
family,
the kids.
DC Young Fly, the kids. It is a loss, a big loss to them, and I think it's a shame. It didn't have to happen.
Right.
But
But
yeah,
that's it for us today. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're going to be back with another episode next week. And you can catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, obviously on our YouTube channel, No End Gemini, and catch me on Hard Art Comedy with Daniel and Rylan. And we're bringing y'all some great content over there as well. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Peace.